Personally, I think it's shameful. He was merely discarding a list of instructions that had been put into one of the envelopes. It was taken and uploaded to Twitter by an individual in the absentee ballot processing area, and that has now resulted in someone having to leave his house and go stay with friends. He's afraid to drive his car because the information about his car and his license plate is out there. The release of the video and its caption led viewers to believe the worker was agitated, which resulted in the worker crumbling and discarding a ballot. However, one thing that you need to know is that those ballots are 8.5 by 19 inches long. In no time did you see him extract anything from the envelope, and that crumpled piece of paper they were instructions, and it was a smaller piece of paper. Voters often include lists of instructions, like the one discarded in the primary absentee ballot envelope, when submitting their ballots in the mail and/or drop boxes. And he was one of the workers that we had who trained everyone how to use those cutting machines because he was very good at it, and he was the fastest one. We depended on him, and he's no longer out there right now. So I told him, I expressed my sorrow in that all of this has happened to him simply for wanting to be an election worker and doing nothing but a good job during that. And so I can take questions now.
Any questions?
What time will the provisional and the overseas be uploaded?
They were still opening and scanning when I left to come over here, so it'll be sometime tonight.
Like overnight, or do you mean before midnight?
Oh, I think it's going to be, most of it is complete over there. But they didn't deliver Yokava until after 5 p.m. over there. So
38 will, and
it's going to be, yeah, unless the last accounting that I got was 3,812 provisional. It could be, there was a member of our staff that was doing research on some of them to make sure that some of the rejected ones by staff. She goes through and does a check every election on the rejected ones and does more research to make sure that any of the ones that can be accepted do, because she's got much more experience than the other staff that we bring in to help us during election cycles.
Mr. Barron, thank you. How are you responding to the GOP claims that there was election fraud on election night and that observers were kicked out and told that counting had stopped, but counting had really continued on? How are you responding to that?
Well, nobody was kicked out. I verified that, and I know somebody from External Affairs was there, and no announcement was made about that. At one point, there was an indication by my staff that they would stop for the night. I told them to keep going until at least 1 in the morning, which is when they stopped over there. But at no time were observers told to leave.
And it's correct, an observer, a legal observer from the Secretary of State's office was also there.
Yes, there was a somebody from the state election board was over there, and I think a state investigator went over there as well. So.
Rick, what kind of precedent
Just 1 second. Yeah.
So you guys have overhauled the way that the election system works because of the pandemic. So after the virus is wiped out, is the early voting system going to look so robust? I mean, what's changed because of the way you had to adapt to the virus?
Well, I think we have had to. A lot of the procedures that we've had to undertake have changed just because, like for example, all of this equipment, we had to move all of this over to Georgia World Congress Center, which we're going to have to probably do again before the next election just to prepare it, because when you get into, even though there's a lot of circulation in here, when you get a lot of people in a smaller confined space like this, and this isn't even all of our carriers. Some of them are down at another warehouse now. There's just a risk to that. I think what this virus has shown